Hey there folks, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Batman figure released by MAFEX. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we're going to start off with the accessories here first. So moving the figure out of the way and moving the accessories in place. Being completely transparent, this section of the video was a little bit more difficult than I thought because the accessories are so similar between these and the SH Figuarts ones where I was getting them mixed up. I think I have everything squared away now, but I might make a mess up here somehow. I probably will. But I mean, one of the telling signs rather, is that the MAFEX hands have gray plastic on the inside. And you can tell that it's a peg, whereas the SH Figuarts hands has a ball in there. And also the details on the SH Figuarts hands appear sharper than the MAFEX ones. But some of these hands appear to be MAFEX hands, but they still don't look consistent with each other. Because, like, the knuckles don't look like they're sculpted the same. Like, here's a pair of, they give you a pair of two sets of gripping hands, and I can't understand why. And if you look, the knuckles look like they're sculpted slightly differently. So it's making me think that these are SH Figuarts hands, but I'm pretty certain they're not. It doesn't look like a ball joint in there. It looks like a peg socket. So, you know, that might be the only mess up that I make. If it is a mess up, I don't know. But you get two sets of gripping hands, I'm pretty sure. These appear to be interchangeable, but you can use it to carry the flare, which is removable. And then also you can use it to carry the grapnel, the batarang, which can kind of slip in there, and then also you can kind of wedge it in like this, like a traditional batarang, but he also holds it by the base in the movie as well. So you get two sets of those, I'm pretty sure. The batarang is pretty cool. It looks alright. You can see that there. I apologize for the dry hands. The winter is most abusive to me. Here is the interchangeable gauntlets. These ones would be the ones that are, I guess they're in use. So you get, it's not like the SH Figuarts where you have interchangeable pieces. You would just use these ones, and then these gauntlets, it's a separate piece, and then you would use the proper hands to hold that, and you can kind of, it gives you the option to kind of tilt the hand in a different way, which the SH Figuarts doesn't do, but I think I still prefer that system anyway because it just makes more sense. And you wouldn't really need to tilt your hand in any sort of different way. But I do like the... I like the uniqueness to it, I suppose. But you get two of those. We're all over the place already. I apologize, folks. But the gauntlets are pretty cool. You can see it's pretty much the same as what's on the figure. It just has the grappling hook removed from it. And then you use your kind of more open grabby hands, and then here are your grappling hook hands, very wide open trigger. Then you get a little bit more of a narrow trigger for your sticky bomb type gun or smoke bomb gun. I think it's a bomb gun just in general, like an explosive gun. Bit of a tighter grip right there, more of a grabby, you know, attack hands. More of a relaxed set of hands right there, which is nice. And then these look like your other set of batarang holding hands, but it doesn't really work for me. I don't like this. There's no way to really get it to wedge in there that looks natural for me anyway, but it's cool that it comes with it. And then your last set of hands are your fisted hands, of course. Moving on to the other accessories, you get a removable holster with the bomb gun kind of molded in, and then you get an empty one on the figure if you want him to hold it, and that just pops right off. You can see that right there. You got a female and male peg on either side, so that's pretty cool. You get your removable chest plate that has the batarang removed, of course, and then the one that's stationary on the chest. You get a removable grappling hook, and mine's a little bit bent, but that can just slide right into Where is it? Here it is. Slide right into the grappling hook. But it's kind of dangerous, so I'm not going to do that. Again, this is removable, just in case I forgot to say that. I've had to do this portion of the video a few times now. You get a removable, or not a removable, but an empty cowl, as you can see there. Make this a little bit brighter. So a removable cowl, or not removable, just an empty cowl. And then here's your gritting teeth. More of an angry expression. It looks really good. In general, I really do like it. It's just I'm not a big fan of this expression in the movie. It just looks kind of strange. But yeah, looks sharp. Here's your more clean looking Bruce Wayne. Not shabby at all. And then here is your more, you know, the cowl was just removed. You got the half skin tone neck, the paint on the eyes. Just give you another look. Here it is compared to the SH Figuarts one, which was kind of a mix between the two ideas. So not bad. I personally really like having this head and neck combination on the SH Figuarts figure and just using the MAFEX one as your standard Batman. And then here is your regular masked head right there. Very, very sharp. As you can see that there. So yeah, guys, those are all the accessories apart from your standard MAFEX base. So it's pretty cool. This, well, I guess it's the newer style where you have the interchangeable crotch part and all that. So it's a little bit more, you get your standard clamp and then your two kind of more newer style clamps. So that's pretty cool. And if you get this figure from Big Bad Toy Store, then I'm not sure if this comes with the figure in any other sort of markets. I only know because I picked this up at Big Bad Toy Store. But you get your replacement torso. Our lower abdomen has the proper DC licensing, whereas the figure, the stock piece, has Marvel on it, which I don't even know how anybody's seen that because I can't see it on the figure. So somebody just popped this apart and knew it was there. Unless mine's stuck, I'm not sure. But I can't see Marvel on there. Oh, I guess you can, just barely. So yeah. But I think when I did my video on this figure when it was announced, like over almost, I think it was a year and a half ago now. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember. I think it was like July 2022, somewhere in there. September, August. It was a long time ago. But I was pretty certain that this figure was going to be just the best all around the Batman figure over the DC Multiverse, the SH Figuarts, and the Mezco. I thought this one was going to be the best, but after getting both of these guys in hands, now this guy, I can't really do a classic style review on him because I already did some modifications to him. I gave him a new cape and stuff, and you know, I want to do some work to both of these, but I think in general, I think if you put these two figures together, that's the best version of this Batman. Both of them have a couple of different issues. I'm not a huge fan of the articulation that this guy has going on, and we'll get into that. It still works, it's just very different. The original cape that this guy came with is atrocious, and both of their colors are a little bit off. Overall, this guy's painted a little bit more accurately. He's got kind of this warmer tone gray, which is a little bit more accurate, I would say, although I probably would prefer this. The MAFEX has the accurate black on the shoulder pads, but it's missing it on the bicep. The SH Figuarts doesn't have either one of those. And, you know, they do some different things with the knee pads, the different things with the crotch area. And then both of them are, you know, this one just has an ugly gap, but the actual layout of the costume is more accurate, whereas this one has a whole extra panel of armor. So both of these would look a lot better if the torsos are sitting lower. So there's a lot of issues going back and forth. I don't think either one is head to toe better. I think the reason this one is better is because he's got more diverse accessories. He's got a better cape. But at the same time, like, their head sculpts, even though this one I would say is better, I think the head sculpts that come with this one are just as good. Or maybe not just as good, but they're comparable. You know, they really work on their own. But I think mixing these two guys together is where you're really going to get the best figure. You know, this guy's got better sculpted hands, stuff like that. This video is not going to be a comparison, though, so let's move away from that, because I'm just going to start talking and it's never going to stop. But as far as this figure goes, he's pretty solid. I'm still really happy with him. I just think that together, I think they work better together than they do separate. I don't think either one's a more definitive version. I think this guy could use some work. I don't know. There's some strange things going on here. The torso gap is something that really does bother me, and I do have a way to fix that. And if you guys do purchase this figure and get the interchangeable or the replacement torso, then there's something that you can do to this figure that I really recommend, and I do plan on doing a video on it. I mentioned it in my modified Far From Home MAFEX Spider-Man, where I'm going to go in on the side. I'm going to cut the side here. I did it on that one. It worked fine. I'm going to cut in the side here all the way to the center, and I'm going to pop out this socket here. And then I'm going to drill down into the torso so this whole system here can sit lower. Now, unfortunately, when you're going to do that, you're probably going to lose out on some of the movement of the chest, the crunching. I don't know if I'm going to be too concerned with that. You don't get a whole lot to begin with. Like, it feels like a lot of range, but in reality, you're not really going anywhere. You're not even in frame here, my bad. So yeah, I don't know. I do plan on doing a video on that though, but there's a lot of cool things here. It's just like, but you got the cape, which overall looks really nicely, and I haven't really done anything with this figure too much, but I feel like the cape is getting a lot of stress put on it. You know, the front of the cape doesn't look super secure. This material is just, I don't feel like it's gonna last. You can see where it's kind of getting abused in the back here. I'm not too certain how long this is gonna hold up. It just looks like it's, I don't know how well you guys can see that, but like it just it's starting to like rip and fray. Like nothing happens up here, so I don't know why it's, I don't know, you can really start to see that. So it's a little bit worrisome, but it does look great. And if you are wondering what I use to swap out the cape for this one, this is the cape from the MAFEX version 3 of Batman, the Dark Knight Trilogy Batman. His cape is too long, but I'm not really too worried about that right now. I might fix it in the future, but that's where that one comes from. But overall, the details on this guy are really solid. It's pretty accurate for the most part. I think it just could use some more paint work. But as far as the articulation goes, we're going to take a look at that. You got a separate neck and head joint, and them combined, you really only get to look up that far. It's actually, hold on a minute, pop this off. One thing I like to do is to flip this inside out. Push it back down behind the collar. Make sure that's all come down tight back here. Then fold it back over. It kind of gets rid of some of that roughness a little bit. But you can see a little ball joint right there. And with those connected, or with those combined, you can look up this far. You can look down a pretty decent amount, better than the SH Figure Arts. Get some nice rocking, mostly coming from the top joint right there. That's a little bit of both, but yeah. Rotation for all of it looks pretty good. With the shoulders, you can kind of pull them out here. So that's something that I really do like. And then you can get the arm to move up, and the shoulder pad just moves out of the way. So that's really cool. And then you get the rotation right there, and you get some butterfly joint action as well. You can move that back in there. All works out really nicely. I do like that. Then you get kind of a low bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, which work out well enough in my opinion. And then you get a ball joint for the wrist. And with your combined waist and torso articulation, you don't get to look, oh, that was a bit rough. You don't get to crunch down too far. But I mean, I don't know. I've seen some people get this guy in some pretty dynamic poses, but I don't know if I would be one to do that. So I know it can be done. You can get him to go back really far, but it's just kind of ugly. You get rotation of both of those, and you do get some pivot. Here's where the articulation kind of diverts into some territories that I'm not really fond of. The waist is very strange, or the hips are very strange, where they kind of come out at the top and at the thigh, and you still don't really get that much range. But it's just this weird angle here, and then you can move forward there, and then you can rotate at the thigh, and it just kind of breaks off weirdly. It's very strange engineering that they have going on here, and I can't even really be mad at them for it, because it's, I've said it before, I really appreciate engineering or innovation. I just don't know if the execution was really top notch here. I'm not sure. I don't really even know how I feel about it. I think it just bothers me because, you know, this has more of a natural, or more of a, you know, kind of standard system here. And I just think it just works out better. I mean, look at all that. You know, this one kind of gets hindered, but you can literally just take that piece off and then you don't got to worry about it. So, I don't know. It's just a bit strange. I don't know if I'm really with it, but yeah. And then you get your, it's like a little ball right there. So you can kind of get this to do really whatever. It just doesn't have a whole lot of range. You get your thigh joint, or your knee joint, double jointed knees, which work out well enough. God, I can't talk today. You get a very stiff ankle rotation. The ankles can move down that far, up that far, a little bit of ankle pivot, and then you get your toe articulation right there. So yeah, the articulation is very strange with this guy, but I still think the aesthetics are pretty sharp for the most part. He's got a beautiful cape. I just worry about how long it'll hold up, because I haven't really done anything with this figure. He's kind of just been sitting on the shelf, and he comes in for size comparisons here and there. I haven't really messed with his, posed him around or anything like that, taken any sort of pictures or anything. He's just kind of chilled out, and his cape is just looks like it's going through hell. But yeah, the sculpt work on this dude, the paint that is there, that is really good. I just think it could use a little bit more, some grime. It's a little bit inaccurate in some parts, but I mean, where there is paint, it's applied really nicely, really cleanly. It looks really sharp. The heads look really good. I'll show you what the interchangeable heads look like. Really like this setup right here, with the unmasked head. Again, I actually really like the way that this head and neck look like on this figure. It doesn't really snap on there perfectly. It just kind of rests, but I do like it a lot. So you get that one, and then popping off the head here. So here's what he looks like with the other head on there. And you can see with this lighting, he just looks really sharp. I really like that. Let's bring the other head back in, because I didn't do a close-up of that one. Look at that. If you don't see Robert Pattinson there, then I don't know what to tell you. I think the hair is a little bit too poofy on top. I really thought that when it came to the production images or the promo images, but in person it actually doesn't really bother me at all. I just think it probably could help being just a little bit lower. And if you really want to try it, here is the SH Figure Arts head and neck. And I'm pretty sure you can actually get this to snap on, but I don't want it to be stuck in there right now. But yeah, so there's that. And then your last swap out, the angry head. Looks pretty solid. Again, you have some top-down lighting for images. That would look pretty sharp in my opinion. So yeah. This dude is very fun. Especially if you have this and the SH Figure Arts, I think you'll have a really good time. Just kind of moving pieces around. They look really good together. I recommend both of them. I think that they both have their pros and cons. I think overall the MAFEX is a better figure. It just, where it lacks, it really bothers me. I think the only thing you can really say bad about the SH Figure Arts figure is the cape. Once you get the cape off of it, it's night and day. It's a lot better. It's just a little less accurate. The head sculpts, the head scans aren't done quite as well as the MAFEX figure. The coloring of the figure is a little less accurate. The overall paintwork is a little less accurate. But he still comes with some really nice accessories, like the SH Figure Arts got the handcuffs here. It's got the adrenaline. I think it's got a better array of hands. Like, it's got less hands, but they're sculpted better. And if you really want to, you can actually pop these hands on either one of the figures. I wouldn't do it for too long a period of time because you don't want to deform anything, but they work interchangeably. And I also really like the system that SH Figure Arts has for their gauntlets, where you just have a little notch right here that pops off for that. But speaking of the gauntlets, let me actually show you how those work. I'll use just the gauntlet. So you can get these hands right over here, pop them off, and you're gonna want to get the appropriate hand. So you can take this and you shove it right up in there. Actually, I'll go from the top down, like that. Zoom in right here. So just like that, looks really sharp, and then you just plug the hand right in. And because they made it a separate piece, you can kind of just angle it however you want. Angle it down or not. In the movie, it's just stationary. All the movement would come from the rest of the arm, but it's still pretty cool. I like that. Not bad at all. It's lacking in some paint, but the SH Figure Arts one is as well. Actually, the SH Figure Arts one has a little bit of silver, so there's that. But I think overall, it's pretty solid. I'm still going to do some sort of video on the SH Figure Arts one, although it won't be a traditional review. Maybe I'll do another video kind of swapping parts back and forth, but I'd want to talk about this guy some more because I think he's really undervalued. Like I said, when I did my video of my preview on this guy, I thought he was going to be night and day. And after getting this figure in hand, he's really, really solid. Again, this isn't the cape that he comes with, so right off the box, or right out of the box, he's kind of a bummer. But once you do at least get a new cape on him, he's a really solid figure. So, I mean, even though I recommend both of them, I can't really tell you which one. I don't know. The MAFEX, you get some really nice accessories. Let me just show you what this looks like. You pop his head off here. You just throw this one in there. Get a little sticky tack in there so it's a little bit more secure. I mean, come on, man. That just looks really gnarly. You got one unmasked all the time, one masked, or you do vice versa. I don't know. I recommend both of these guys. I just think this one deserves the support more because I think he's a little bit underrated. And then this one just does some things that I just think are very, very questionable. But where it's a knockout, it's a knockout. But anyway, I think this is a long enough video. I apologize. I have a problem with talking sometimes. So overall, wrap this in a big bow, make it nice and pretty. 100% recommend this guy. He's got a few faults, but overall, he's really, really sharp. He's got some cool engineering, whether you like it or not. It's innovation. MAFEX is trying to do something different, and I respect that. I just don't know how much I like it. He's got some really, really well-done accessories. The likenesses on these heads look incredible. Not this one. That's SH Figure Arts. The likenesses are really cool. You get the empty cowl, very, very sharp. They give you the interchangeable gauntlets and all these hands and the interchangeable chest plate. You get so much for your money here. So much plastic. You get paint. You get just attention to detail. You get a lot of nice stuff here. It's just, it lacks in some areas. I worry about the cape. I'm not the biggest fan of these hips. And then the gap right there is really its only issues, but a lot of people think the cape is one of the strongest parts. I'm just not sure how well it will hold up. So that's where my one concern comes in. And again, if you get it from a certain company, you'll get the proper licensing. That's a bit of a mistake on MAFEX's end, a little bit of a laughable mistake. I think the Iron Man Mark 50 had the opposite thing happen to it, or that one said DC, so that's pretty hilarious. But overall, 100% recommend. I recommend this guy as well. And if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell, all that would be greatly appreciated if you decide to do so. And of course, until next time, true believers.